What's up, guys? And Merry Christmas, everyone, and welcome to a special holiday edition of the Snowman Sports Media. Today we're going to preview one of my favorite sports days of the year, Christmas Day, and look at the always special NBA quintuple header. 5 games on tap, as always, and it is as juicy as ever. So without further ado, I'm going to make some predictions today. We're going to talk about some of the star players, some key news and notes, and let's get to it. I'm very excited for Christmas Day. All right, and it all begins at 12 o'clock noon live from Madison Square Garden in New York City. The New York Knicks hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. After you're done unwrapping the presents, you got to turn the TV on quick. This will be on ESPN, and watch this game for one reason and one reason only. I know the Knicks are atrocious again this year, but Giannis Antetokounmpo, the forward for the Bucks, who may be the MVP frontrunner right now, he'll be worth the price of admission. Just doing crazy things this year, averaging 27 points, 13 boards, 6 dimes a game. He's shooting 59% from the floor this season. Crazy efficiency. Leads the league in field goals at the rim. He's on pace for something astounding like 370 dunks right now. Even with defenders sagging off of him, he can get to the rim at will. Covers the court in like 4 steps. Giannis is so fun to watch. His body, his athleticism is off the charts. So definitely tune into this one. Can't wait to watch it. I think the Bucks are going to blow out the Knicks. I like what I've been seeing from Milwaukee lately. They just had a great win over Boston. Just picked up George Hill. They also have Brook Lopez, who's been balling out lately. He's shooting 37% from 3 this year. That's better than guys like J.J. Redick, Kyle Lowry, and C.J. McCollum. So the big man shooting big from outside. And game 1, give me the Bucks in a blowout. Our second game on Christmas Day will be from the Toyota Center in Houston. The Rockets playing host to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And this one also has a lot of big star power. James Harden leading the way again for the Rockets. And he's been insane lately, just especially with Chris Paul out with the hamstring injury. His last 5 games, he's got 35 points, 35, 47, 32, and 50. Also has 2 triple-doubles. So Harden, the MVP from last season, he's putting on some masterful displays again this year. I just think there's too much star power on the other side for this day. The Thunder's big 3 has been on a roll as well. Steven Adams just had himself a nice 2020 game, a career-high 23 rebounds in a win over Sacramento. The point Godzilla, Russell Westbrook, in the midst of his 3rd consecutive season, averaging a triple-double. I don't know how he does that. He's insane. And Paul George, who is he's a former 4-time All-NBA third-team guy. He could get All-NBA second-team this season. I know there's a lot of good forwards, guys like Bron, Kawhi, Giannis, KD. But Paul George averaging a career-high 25.5 points per game. He's got really solid shooting splits. Also career highs in rebounds, assists per game. He's top 5 in steals, can strap on the defensive end. We know how good of a two-way player he is. I think George could be in for some big accolades at the end of the season, and his extension with OKC will pay off in a big way for him. So I like the Thunder's big 3 to take down the bearded one in this game 2. Now, I see why they put this next game in the primetime 5:30 dinner slot for Christmas Day. Normally, that's LeBron's slot, but he got moved out this year. 5:30, it is from the TD Garden, Boston Celtics, and Philadelphia 76ers. Maybe they've got a nice little rivalry brewing after that playoff series last year that went in favor of the Celtics. But this should be a great, great matchup. Both of these teams kind of figuring things out. They're going to look a lot different in April. Philly, they got to trust the process per usual. We know they just got Jimmy Butler. They're working out the kinks of their new big 3. We know Embiid admitted he was a little frustrated, still is, about his new kind of stretch 5 role. He's getting less looks at the rim with Butler now on the court. Kind of like how Kevin Love had to acclimate in his first year in Cleveland. We know David Black kind of used him just as a glorified spot-up shooter, and that wasn't flying well with Love, with LeBron, with the rest of the team. So they'll figure it out, though. Embiid will figure it out. They'll figure out the spacing with Jimmy and Embiid and Ben Simmons. For the Celtics, though, I'm even more concerned about them because I know they've had guys in and out of the lineup. Jason Tatum's been the only starter that's played every game this year. But Jaylen Brown, their 3rd-year guy out of Cal, has taken a big step back this season. His points per game average is down 3 points a game. His true shooting percentage, 56% last year. That's down to 49%. And he has negative offensive win shares right now. And you may be saying, well, Snowman, Jaylen Brown is a defensive guy. Don't worry about his offense. But guess what? His defensive win shares and defensive box plus minus also down as well. So Jaylen Brown is a mess right now. He's got to get his stuff together. And Terry Rozier, the playoff hero from last year, he's also kind of had a slumpy start to the season. You know, he played so many minutes in the playoffs, was kind of the star. Now he's got to reacclimate himself to this bench role. Brad Stevens and Brett Brown have their hands full with these two rosters. They're going to figure it out, but I think, look, this matchup 4 months from now, it's going to look completely different. It's still a figuring out process for these two. That being said, on Christmas Day, I'm slightly leaning towards the 76ers in this one. Give me Philly. Perhaps the most anticipated game of Christmas Day will be at 8 o'clock then from Oracle Arena. The Los Angeles Lakers traveling to the Golden State Warriors home. And a quick note about LeBron James. He is quietly putting up maybe a really good case for his 5th MVP of his career. The numbers are fine, 28, 8, and 7. That's usual LeBron stuff, but it's his highest scoring average since 2010. And about LeBron, good shooting splits, 52% from the floor, usual efficiency, 36% from 3. And he's actually averaging his fewest minutes of his career at just 35 minutes. So he's being ultra efficient. I mean, his usage rate isn't as high as it normally is. He's still putting up these great numbers in limited time, and his defensive win shares are up too. He seems a little bit more committed, reinvigorated on the defensive end. Playing with a young team, I think, has done that to him. He seems a little more just committed. He's not taking as many nights off as we've seen in the past few regular seasons. So I like that about LeBron. He's also shooting it well from 3, 36% right now. That's better than a couple other guys playing in this game. You might know them, Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson. They are not shooting as well from 3 as LeBron is right now this season. Warriors, they'll be fine. Don't be worried about them if you're a fan of them, that they're in 3rd place in the Western Conference right now. They still have 10-17 odds to win the championship this season. I don't think anybody's worrying about the Warriors, but if you are going to say one thing about them, Draymond Green has looked like a shell of his former self this season. He's a guy who was an All-NBA 3rd-team guy in 2017. He's down to 6.5 points per game, 19% from 3. He's always been a player who at least can shoot 30% from the three-point arc, serviceable from that, and his averages, except for his rookie year, all over 30%. He's taken a big step back, though. Guys are playing him like he is Tony Allen or some guy who's just incapable of making three-pointers. So that has kind of shrunk the floor a little bit, and it's given them a few problems, but overall, don't worry about the Warriors. Why would you ever do that? Unfortunately, they're probably going to spoil another Christmas for LeBron and LeBron's lovers like myself. So, I'm going to go with the Warriors here. I'm going to be smart this time, and I'll take the Warriors in this primetime clash. Finally, at 10:30, it may be the snoozer of the slate, but it's still pretty good. Portland Trail Blazers at the Utah Jazz. I'm probably going to be asleep by then because I got to work early in the morning, but these two teams just played a few days ago in Portland, and the Trailblazers got waxed by the Jazz 120-90. That was even with Jazz star Donovan Mitchell going 1 for 10 from the floor, 0 for 4 from 3 with just 3 points in 28 minutes. Mitchell's having a big sophomore slump right now. That guy, his shooting numbers are way down. His PER is down from almost 17 to about 14 right now. Ben Simmons is so much better than Donovan Mitchell, and it's not even funny. I can't believe all the big deal and stuff that he did last year about the whole Rookie of the Year campaign. He's such a baby. Get your act together, Donovan Mitchell. Apparently you're better than this, but right now he's having a big sophomore slump. So, yeah, that being said, I still like the Jazz in this game. They just beat them recently. They're going to beat them again. Give me the Jazz over the Trailblazers, but Donovan Mitchell, you are on blast, all right? You can't just be wearing hoodies about Rookie of the Year and throwing shade at Ben Simmons all the time when your numbers, your team is out of playoff position right now. Worry about your own stuff and get it together, all right? All right, and that's no disrespect to Donovan Mitchell. He's still a really good player. I'm going to stay in the jolly Christmas spirit here. He's a good guy, but, don't come at my boy Ben Simmons because he's a baller as well. So, nonetheless, it should be a really tasty, tantalizing Christmas slate. I'm excited for the quintuple header per usual, one of my favorite sports days of the year, and I hope you enjoy it with you and your loved ones as well. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media, and if not, I'll be back very soon. Until then, happy holidays and Merry Christmas.